lighting my whole life, so
Not your whole life.
pretty much.
Lie about what?
That the military wouldn't take me.
Welcome to the Patriot Hour, folks. Okay, let's do this. We got WoodMan in the studio, and WoodMan's son. We're gonna be calling him L. Because that's what me and WoodMan met many years ago over at a local Legion that we both visit frequently or semi-frequently.
Quite correct. Quite correct.
Cheers. Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Airborne. Cheers.
Airborne, yes. WoodMan is a veteran, and that's under his name. I got WoodMan Veteran. So it's Sunday, April 15th. We're just having I had some of my good friends over, and we decided to get on here for you guys today. We're just gonna chit chat a little bit. WoodMan, what years did you serve?
I did delay entry program in 73, December. And I went in active the next month,
Yes.
January 74. Yeah, until 77, January 77. We won't talk about the second time because those guys were idiots, but that's okay.
Yes. He did a Airborne. Could only imagine the
Thrills and spills.
thrills and spills is what you've said. We were also here earlier talking, or before we kicked off the show. I went over the Q, some of the Q posts, and they definitely seemed a little interested. What would you guys say collectively so far? What you thought on that? The whole Q, the Q drops, the Q post.
Well, I like to see the information being out there. I'd like to see more of it.
Yeah. Well, if you follow a little bit, that's what I've seen. Like by following it over these last few months, that I would see it play out in the news within days later, or even weeks. Sometimes, like it just seemed like I was ahead of the news almost. So.
Well, that's pretty much exactly how it really is.
Yes.
But some of that stuff you have to kind of watch too, because, anytime the government, we'll just say government, focuses on one thing, on one issue, it gets the public's eye on that and forgets about some other areas, which, the government's pretty good about doing that. So
it's like, look over here while we got our hand over here.
Well, yeah, they keep you sidetracked. Look, they keep you focused on one thing as they're doing whatever they're really doing, for real. I've kind of seen that myself firsthand. They really do that. Now, some of the stuff I've seen, you hear about a year or two later. This is back 40-some years ago, but you did hear about it a year or two later. Not public back then, but.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see here if we got what we got from Donald J. Trump, his personal twit machine, whatever. So there is a big difference I've noticed from what he will say on the mainstream, what he tweets or twits, however you say it, and then
Tweety Dee.
yeah, twitted his last tweet, or okay. So the 4 hours ago, he twitted, just hit 50%, in the, how did you say that?
Rasmussen poll.
Rasmussen. Okay, so just hit the 50% in the Rasmussen poll, much higher than President Obama at this same point. I'm thinking, with all the phony stories and fake news, it's hard to believe. Thank you, America. We are doing great things. All right, so let's go back to the one from 5 hours ago. L, how about you read that one?
Which one? The nerd?
Yeah.
Slippery James Comey, a man who always ends up badly and out of whack. He is not smart. Will go down as the worst FBI director in history by far.
I agree. I agree with that. Possibly. I like to click on these sometimes. Whole lot of projecting going on this morning. This Badger fan writes. Here's a picture of
All right.
POS Trump. Well, what does it POS mean?
Yeah, you always see a bunch of stuff about Trump.
All right,
A lot of people seem to hate him nowadays.
Yeah, it's just, and I think it's so if the mainstream's always, we know that 92% of it's like against them because it's a leftist, liberal owned media. So I think they paint that picture enough on their side that just general people are busy at work. They come home, they're doing dishes, and if they do flip on the news, it's kind of in the background, and it's just, you got 93% chance of hearing this bad narrative, Russia collusion and bad, but.
Well, they only have, like, say, okay, whoever household is normal, let's say, really only spends about an hour, maybe an hour and a half total in the evening watching the news, trying to catch up with whatever they can hear on the news. Well, just because it's on the news, and it might be kind of sort of real or kind of sort of true, kind of sort of in that gray, shady area.
Because a good lie's got a little bit of truth sprinkled in. A really good lie's 90% truth and maybe 10% lie, and just
That's what makes you believe it, that little bit of truth.
Yeah.
But then here again too, a lot of times they focus on that kind of stuff because they don't want you to really see what they're really doing for real.
Yeah.
They do that kind of stuff.
Oh, man.
Constantly. Over time, you can see that, constantly. That's why, this, we'll call it the Q, so far what I've seen is a pretty nice little deal. Because, let it out of the bag, so to speak, if you want to dig a little bit and find it, you can see it.
Yeah.
And it's true about being a little bit in advance, only because here we go with the government, pretty much controls whatever the news is doing. Well, we're talking about the old government where they're not going to buck the system now. They've been on board for a long time. They got their fingers in the till, everything's going good, and here comes Trump trying to stop all that stuff. Well, they don't want to stop that. They like what they got going.
Yeah. It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah,
so
whatever, so yeah. So I don't know. I hope he's doing the right thing.
That's all that's why in the heck wouldn't we hope that he's doing the right thing?
Right.
Yeah.
We've been let down before, right?
Yeah,
all of us. But.
Well, I know for him to really piss that many people off in government, he's got to be doing something right.
Well, yeah.
They're all, they're all crooked, or they wouldn't be in politics, period, because that's exactly what's going on. I rub your back, you rub mine, we'll kick a little extra this way, kick a little extra this way, we'll use your nephew's company, yada, 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 for all kinds of things, This is quite true.
Yeah, well, and they said, we know now that dossier was paid for by Hillary and the DNC. That's all came out. So there's, and then that ended up being Russia. So there's your Russia collusion. Look no further. You want to look at the cheating, the DNC and Hillary cheated Bernie. So there was but that's people from their own side, their own party, within that. And then there was works in there talking about how they started disinformating and hitting all the Republican candidates early on too, because she wanted to looked at all the candidates on the Republican side and said, I have the best chance against Trump. So they literally propped him up with whatever help and tools they had. Who knows? Maybe these Russian bots they talked about on Facebook, and they helped prop Donald Trump up because she thought, in the end, it's going to be me versus Donald. I have the best chance against anyone else, and then people would be Donald. So there was all that going on. And then when she lost, they just somehow yelled Russia real loud, and then that was their last attempt. So it's been going on since he won. This Russia narrative, it's still being investigated. It's led nowhere. It's led now to them kicking in the doors of that Michael Cohen, the lawyer for Trump, all about this porno star from 2006, 11 or 12 years old, that was consensual. If it did happen between them, supposedly, because that's what she's saying. Well, it wasn't, anything bad. He didn't forcefully. It was consensual. But that's what it's led to when it was all supposed to be Russia.
Yeah, why that's even being brought up? Just bad.
Doesn't make sense.
Has nothing to do with anything. So he had,
and then a couple people got caught lying throughout all this. And they're like, well, we've gotten a few felony charges, and it's like, well, they questioned so many people about stupid stuff. They were bringing people back. What time were you there on that one night? You're like, I don't know, like 3:00. And then a month later, bringing you back in, like, well, we talked to this other guy. He said it was 5:00. You told us 3. Yeah, it could be 5:00. I might have been wrong on that. It's like, man, well, you lied. And that's a felony with the FBI. And they were writing up, that's how they got that Michael Flynn. It was a lie. Nothing to do with Russia. So the only charges they've gotten in 16 months on anybody were a couple of low-level people close to Trump on lying. And it wasn't lying about Russia or this and that. It was like, I can't even know what to tell you what it was about because it's dumb.
Well, they set the stage up anyhow, no matter what it is. They're the ones that set the stage up.
Everything they accused him of, I think they did. It's like the same things they did. They're like, there's going to be a lot of talk about Russia. We might as well make it be about Trump and Russia because it should be about us and Russia, but it's Trump and Russia. Yeah, right. Trump and Russia.
Right.
And they were just hoping it sticks. In this 16 months, they would have found something. That's why they're down to this porn star lady. All of a sudden, porn stars are real credible people, and they're and not that they're not humans or not taking anything away.
Well,
but it's like, when have we ever propped these people up to?
I'm sure she knows a lot of high people and high places. Think about that.
I just didn't think she'd have so much time to be talking.
Think about that. She probably
Where is she finding all the time to talk?
Yeah.
I mean, normally, but
anyway, yeah.
So what's this next one? What is that? Captain Ron?
Yeah.
I don't like to read too many, but it's probably going to be all bad. He and many more are dirty at real Donald Trump draining the swamp. The only person draining the swamp. Yeah.
Well, like
worst president ever. Look at that. That's hard to say. It's only it's been a year.
Well, listen, I know he has done quite a bit, but he's not going to cut his own hand off. Good Lord, come on now, think about that.
Exactly.
Be open-minded here, people. Like, for real. Sure, he's doing certain things, but in the same token, he's going to gain from that. He's already a millionaire. He's got a lot of things going for him. He's going to gain from that, just like his buddies will. But he's still going to go ahead and implement a few things so this common people have a smaller chance of really doing better anyhow. I mean, think about it, It's not like the Democrats when they do like, they say they're going to do this and that, whatever, and they compromise. They always compromise, compromise.
Yeah, he's sticking to, some of the things
Donald
he said.
Trump, he's really upsetting a lot of people. He's already tipped the boat so hard, that a lot of Republicans are going to quit at the end of their term. They're not going to run anymore.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing in itself.
Well, they don't want to. They don't want any part of it.
Yeah, well, I think that these people that have been there for 20, 30 years need to go anyway. Like, they just need to. It shouldn't be a lifelong thing, It should be term limits and all that.
They all come into office saying, I'm here to change things. I'm here to straighten the government out. Each and every one of them bases their campaign on that. And what happens? Nothing.
They end up being part of it normally, and
They always do, yeah. They always do. And the ones that don't climb on board don't make it.
yeah.
If you're not part of it, listen,
So how did he make it then with like they said 97% of the DC area didn't want him. They didn't vote for him. 97% of that of the system itself in DC 90 or
you're talking about just the small little
because
team.
they vote too, that area down there in DC. It's not a state, but
Exactly,
it's
exactly,
electoral. They get some electorals out of there.
Right.
97% didn't vote for him. All of Wall Street didn't want him. Corporation, which everyone's like, what is he? Being a millionaire or billionaire that he claims to be, that he says he is, or books have showed. But he's real estate, right? He's not, I don't know, he does sell things, I guess, like hats and all that. He did trademark that "Make America Great Again." So when he was wearing the hat the whole time and all the stuff, it was all trademarked, and he made a killing. And he took that and used it for the campaign runnings. So that's how he funded himself.
Yeah, quite true.
So it was just another little genius idea. So I have shared this before. I've done it way back. Not the art of the dill, but the art of Trump or something. But like back in the late 70s when he was getting going, he wanted to do what did he build in Atlantic City, the Trump casinos down there back in the 80s. He had went and visited with the FBI early on in the 70s because he knew if he was going to build down there that the mob was pretty much infested and they were going to hit him up. So he had went and discussed a story with the FBI. He's like, if I build down here some casinos, I know that they're going to want to have their hands in it. He goes, why don't we bring some of your guys in and have them undercover? I'll let the mob come in and da-da-da. He laid out this whole story. And they're like, well, interesting. And if you decide to build here, come back and talk to us. Well, we know that he started breaking ground in like 83 or 82 or something. And the casinos were built in 84, 85.
I have no idea.
It was somewhere around there. But don't quote me on exactly, but it's around that time frame. We're pretty much right. And that's what he did. He, had undercover FBI in there as pit bosses and normal dishwashers or whatever all entails into a casino. And then the same with the mob. They wanted in.
Right.
And they sat there and did their thing, watching and blah, blah. And when it all got over with, the mob would be taken down. The FBI would back out. And the whole time Trump is left standing. So that was a pretty kind of genius idea to do back then, I guess, or play both cards. I mean, if you went down there and you didn't get the FBI involved, you're how long do you run with the mob until they, drain you, pull their more, we want more, and just start extorting you to a level of your, how that works, right? Or so there was a couple different ways he could have done that, but he probably did it the best way. He's like, they do this, they work them. I'm the last man standing, and if they do take down the mob and it's successful, it's cleaned up, and I'm still here, and I got to make money the whole time.
He's
Right.
a businessman.
Yeah, but here,
Smart
look.
That's
businessman.
smart, right?
Well, yeah, but here, this they're still paying a mob. This is a government mob.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yes.
Instead of being, paying the illegal people, he's setting illegal people up so he can keep going.
Yeah.
But he still.
Well, he wanted to go.
FBI still got their fingers in there. This ain't no free ride.
Mm-mm.
I don't care where you go. Once you involve yourself in any kind of government structure at all, free rides are over, man.
Yes. That was past story of him, and I don't know what you'd call that. Is that, patriotic or what? Like if you thought, I want to go down here. He's from New York way up here, so going down to Atlantic City or whatever, he had to make a choice like, I'm going to open up this casino, and it's going to go bad. I'm going to have the mob just come in. You know how they do, I guess. I don't know, but the movies and books I've read. So yeah, he did that, let them come in. And if he wanted to open a business, that would probably be the only way that it would have worked out for him positively, I guess. I don't know what else would have happened or how it would he ended up in jail himself, if he would have just went with the mob, letting the mob come in, or trying to go down there and tell them no. What happens? Do they keep harassing you? And cutting fingers off or catching you outside of work when you're leaving and hold you hostage, or Jimmy Hoffa type stuff. I don't know.
Well, the only difference is FBI is a
Organized. Yeah, and
legal.
That's what I'm saying.
Government organization.
Just like the pharma, big pharma is a legalized drug.
Like I was saying before, Trump's still paying. He's just not paying the mob. So he's paying the government mob. I don't care what government agency it is. It's still a mob because.
Well, no, I think he did.
Check it out. I think they're worse than a mob because when they come in and get their money, they come and get their money. If they want all your equipment, they come seize everything you have. Yes. I don't care where it's at. They just come get it. Yes. I don't care. The mob comes in, he might break your arm and take whatever you got there. But no, these people, they come in, they get it all.
No, you're right.
They don't play games. They're just a legal mob.
Yes.
That they give it a government title.
It's no different.
But the common people, you would say, that live around in the whole area that's never been, as a non-veteran, let's just say, they don't understand. The only thing they go by is what they see on TV. But veterans, a lot of that stuff, they know is a bunch of bull crap because they've been through something similar to that, and it didn't sound like that on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm looking at it now like, he put the, organized crime against organized crime, basically, the FBI, that's not
but
the whole
FBI is illegal is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and he didn't have, they're the legal version of it, and he didn't have to, the mob would definitely be wanting a take, where we know that the FBI, their take is the government tax dollars, so.
But we don't know exactly.
I wouldn't imagine them wanting money out of the casino every week.
We don't know what
right.
We don't know.
They probably at least didn't take that like the mob would have.
Never know.
We really don't know what kind of deal they really made.
Exactly.
Because somehow he's going to be up on top.
Exactly.
What you say?
Yeah.
He's going to end up being way up on top, no matter what happens.
Exactly. I think he did the thing that he thought would make him best chance to be able to.
Well, look here.
Because at one point the FBI would back out, the mob goes down.
The bottom line is this: if you have to pay somebody, you might as well pay somebody that has some kind of a legal structure.
Yeah, the side that
you go pay. Okay, here. Let's just say Mr. L down here had a collection agency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You pay.
Well, here's another. So in 2009, now we know on the Uranium One deal that happened out of the country here with the State Department signing off, and then Hillary's plausible deniability on that is, there's 10 other agencies that had to sign off on this, not just my State Department at the time. Well, what we also know is in 2009, about 2 years before that deal got signed or so, there was a Canadian-based company that was, tied. They were trying to make this sale to Russia. And since it's on our continent, we have this deal set up with our governments of Canada and Mexico to...
Well, Canada should be neutral.
Yeah. Well, they had to get, our agencies to sign off on this deal, which ended up, we know that this uranium ended up making its way, we don't know where it's at anymore. It did end up going to the wrong people. It was a bad thing. But this guy was in a business in 2009, and he was involved in uranium. And he actually went to the FBI and told them, I think, these guys are Russia and they're bribing. We're talking black market, kickbacks, just all bad. So the FBI talked him into going undercover. This is a business owner again. Somebody calls them to warn, I think there's something weird going on here with these people that are in our country trying to get this uranium. And they're like, well, would you be willing to go undercover? And they talked him into going undercover. He signed all these forms with the FBI, and he remained undercover going along. And whatever they offered him, he took. And he was doing this. Now it's man, I'm working for the FBI, and I got all the authority to. And then it just never got more. He threatened in 2011 or 12 to go to Congress, and the FBI threatened him hey, you signed these non-disclosures, you can't go to Congress. And if you do, we'll ruin your life, they told him. So then again, he's been sitting around. None of this has come out. 2014, 15 comes up. All the the Trump running in 2016, he got a lawyer, and then it finally got to Congress, and they're like, well, why did we never know? Why did nobody ever know about this, since they were still keeping it all under wraps? And he goes, this whole Trump Russia thing was been annoying me so bad because I was involved in this undercover thing back in 2009, 2010. They never should have sold that uranium. They kept him suppressed on purpose. That way, none of them agencies, and again, this reverts back to Bill Clinton probably having Q clearance, doing pillow talk with Hillary at nighttime, and she knows everything. And it's like, well, we can't let that get out. This uranium deal will never go through. And then, therefore, they keep it quiet from all the other agencies. So, yeah, nobody knew about it. You can act like you didn't know about it because it never came to you in a formal matter, Hillary, like a form vote. It came to you maybe at nighttime on the pillow from your husband, you know. Who knows? It's all speculation. That's how they keep it, right? Because it's so, and it doesn't really even matter.
Look, check it out. We're not talking about a loaf of bread here, or, you know, the best Danish in the world. What you're talking about? Some kind of, we'll call it. I'll call it a chemical. I'll just say it that way. It's a chemical.
It's an element.
Element. Either way, it's not a loaf of bread. To transfer that kind of stuff from anywhere to anywhere else, there's a lot of clearance got to be done. A lot of things have to happen. Correct?
Yeah.
They have to. Otherwise, you can't move that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know. Well,
because
come
of what it is,
on
there's a lot of
now.
monitoring behind it.
You can't sit
Supposed
there and
to be
say,
anyway.
you know, so and so's involved. No, wait a minute, man. Look, if you're anywhere in that thing, you already know what's happening. I don't care what they tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's an iffy thing too. See, since we're starting to get a little more background, you know, I personally anyway, about that particular situation. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
Oh, yeah. Makes good sense. All right, let's read. Let's see. We got one more here to read.
Well, she is a female. I mean, sorry, sorry, I got to keep my back. That's killing me, man.
Hey, you're all right.
I wish I was.
Well, I mean,
I apologize for moving around here lately.
you guys are, they totally understand. Let me see here. Attorney-client privilege is now a thing of the past. I have too many lawyers, and they are probably wondering when their offices and even homes are going to be raided with everything, including their phones and computers, taken. All lawyers are deflated and concerned.
He pissed them off. Come on, I don't care who you are, man. They're going to find any way they can.
I'm just digging for dirt now.
They're going to make it. If they can't find it, they're going to make it. They're going to, look.
Create it.
Well,
Create the chaos.
the common people do not understand the government exactly what they're really doing. They go by what they see on the news. Like I say, that the guy comes home from work. She comes home from work. There's the kids. You got to deal with all that crap, you know. Make supper. Maybe you squeeze a little TV in there. Make supper. Have supper together and all that crap. Then you got to clean it all up, right? Get the kids all cleaned up. Get them all ready to bed. That's your day. You don't have time to checking all that kind of stuff. You see what's on TV.
Well,
Oh, sorry, Mr. L.
You're all right. I can edit.
Good.
All right, so
Isn't that how you know stuff?
I have internet and TV and stuff.
Yeah.
And the people such as our host here.
Well, I rely on
Our
this
friends,
guy because he pretty much keeps me informed.
Decent Americans that check up on stuff, sick of being lied to their whole life, and the powers that be hiding everything and shit and take advantage of everybody.
nice. That is exactly. That's exactly right, folks. We basically just fed up with being lied to,
Well, let me ask
tricked.
you. Let me ask you this:
manipulated,
What if
held
you,
back.
What if you done that to the government? Let me ask you that. As what we call now a civilian, even though you're a veteran, what would happen if you done that to the government? I really firmly believe you would be arrested and you'd be prosecuted.
People have been
Quite
jailed
correct.
for less.
Quite correct.
Yeah,
Quite
no,
correct.
exactly. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can't do what the government does. Look, they're so shady and crooked. That's where all the lies come from. Is the government? They allow the news to, you know.
Well, that's what the whole QMAP shows. Like it's owned. So I guess there's a thing called secure drop where they it's like offshore accounts and certain journalists or shields for the FBI or CIA more so. Excuse me, embedded there on purpose. Sit there, they get drops of money. They check their phones and these things are, and then they check these accounts, see like $1,000,000, 500,000, whatever put in, and then a day or two later at a secure drop, which is a thing on a phone, little secure drop, and they get in there, and there'll be a narrative like this week this is going to be leaking, but steer it this way, like you said. Agree with the story because it's going to drop, but you just need to steer it, nudge it this way, or take the eyes off this person over here. It can be the whole truth. It just has got to be this other guy.
Right.
I don't know how it works. Similar to that, I'm sure. But
Well, we get to see it.
yeah, we see it play out in live time, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, you're very correct on that. Smart folks here today. You guys listen up. WoodMan, great man. Met him years ago. His family, his kin, his offspring. Good people. I'm really glad to know you guys. You guys are smart. He's a veteran. You guys love this guy here. Thank you for your service, WoodMan.
Well, thank you very much.
Glad to have met you, known you, and we will continue to be friends for a long, long time.
Thanks for opening our eyes to some stuff today.
Yes.
For
Again, they will be back. Whether it's on camera, that's up to them. They are always welcome. Other than that, I'm sure they'll come back and we'll do some hanging out and drinking a few beers and garage talk and checking out new findings and anything that comes out. But I think they're also going to be checking out the channel and keeping an eye on everything as well. Maybe when they can, and stay informed.
Sure, that's exactly the right thing. Stay informed.
Do the research, right, WoodMan? What have
Right.
you learned in all your collective years? What can you say to close out for? We're going to let WoodMan L say whatever. If you want to say a couple of words, and then you could say whatever, and they're going to close it out for us. So I'm just going to close it out after they talk, guys. But here, go ahead and listen up.
All I got to say is, in all honesty, you can't tell who I am because so it don't make any difference. You don't know, But I will say this much: I did a few things in the military for a couple of years. I was in a lot of training, and then finally got into doing things. I have seen presidents of countries. I've seen generals. I've seen people that are, we'll just say, like control regions merged together. Of course, we're not supposed to hear anything, but you have to anyway because you control like who comes in, who gets to see who gets to, just because you come in doesn't mean you can leave either. If you go into one of these meetings and you end up being, let's just say, not liked, you may not leave, and that means they'll take you away. And this stuff never hits the news, never has and never will. That's been over 40 years ago, so I know a little bit about how if the honest people really knew, the honest, level-headed civilians really knew what really happened in the military, they'd lose their confidence in them. So you can't let them know all that stuff. You have to at least let them still have a little confidence, because there are a lot of people in the military that are doing the right thing or think they are for the right reason. Like when I was in, like you were in, any veteran, the only ones you rely on is the guy right beside you. You've been with him for a long time, and you know if this guy tells you it's clear for like 20 degrees, you don't worry about that 20 degrees because he told you he's got it covered. It's clear. You know, we can rely on each other. We never relied on anybody above that because they are all crap talkers. No matter what, they can always make it right with an ink pen. Well, we done this and this was done, whatever. I've seen that firsthand. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And we always talk about chain of command anyway. Somebody
There you
always
go.
higher, and
Yeah.
what rolls down. You know, they say it. You're either going to not do what they say or do it, and then
Shit rolls downhill. If it hits you, it makes it flat. Believe me. Believe me, that's exactly how they refer to it. Quite correct, man.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said what I did about certain meetings, but that truly happens.
heck
You
yeah.
know, it truly does. There's things you hear in those meetings that will never ever hit the papers, never ever hit the news. You can't. How can you, tell the public that they're going to do something that wouldn't be quite correct in like God's eye, but is correct politically for a different country that you might want to try and make good deals with later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you help out in that direction, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You're still involving our troops, our people's lives, plus their lives for somebody else's benefit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We haven't fought in our own country since when?
What, the Civil
See what I
War?
mean?
Yep.
Look, we're always going somewhere else. We're always going somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah. The bad thing is the common people don't really know the true stuff. All they see is what they see on the news. They're in a big hurry. They get home, kids come home from school, get things around for supper, watch a little TV, news. Excuse me.
That's all they got time for.
Time to go to bed.
Yeah.
There's no
I
time.
gotta get up and do it all again tomorrow.
Well,
Right.
Before the internet, there wasn't really a way for them to see what was going on.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why the government wants to kind of monitor the internet or shut it down to a certain degree, because they can't control what's going on now on the internet. And,
Exactly.
leaking a lot of the stuff, which is why I'm thankful for people like our host here who, are one of the people trying to wake America up and get things out there that need to be out. Because, the lies and stuff got to stop. It's our country. It's our lives.
Yep.
And they're making a mockery of a lot of it.
Yep, that's exactly right. We have a chance to just stop what's been going on and move forward. Be more, and that's what one of the the videos I watched. He said, with everything, it's gonna take a few years, but we're gonna start seeing more. Just natural, organic foods in the stores, better, healthier things, less and less. The mainstream's supposed to be dead. The media, it's supposed to not recover after this is all exposed. And I mean, it just sounds so blissful anyway. So of course you're like, yeah, I hope. That's, and you'd hope, but it says it. It's not, we can never sit back here and just think like Donald Trump's doing it.
Well,
His video tells us it's on us. The whole point of this, I think, the Q thing is supposedly we're supposed to get it dropped down. People are doing multiple different things. Some people jumped into making all the connections for the map to get that in a visual for other people to digest. Q tells us to, keep it all offline, keep it all archived offline, because supposedly, the internets might go down, power might go out for a while, and we're supposed to have that because
either way, if
you can't arrest all these people, the 26,000 indictments, without exposing their crimes first. People wouldn't make sense to people. A lot of people think Hillary's not guilty. It's like, well, she already got investigated by the FBI. Well, now we know that these certain people that are getting fired by Trump, they were doing things to, taking the hard work of the field agents, because we can't say all the FBI is bad. Those are a lot of normal men that come in.
Quite
Could
correct.
be like,
Quite correct.
and they do their work, and then they turn in paperwork. But at the very high level, you have one guy's like, I'll change that to say this. Oh, perfect. All right. And that's what was going on. It took a few key people.
It's back to what I was saying before, and this is quite true in the whole world, man. I mean, think about it. The people, low spectrum people,
The masses or majority or
the majority of, let's just say, the lower income, whatever. A lot of us are veterans, but if we stick together like glue, we can actually change our government. But we have to have Q or something like that. We need an end.
we need an
We need an end, because if you choose the wrong end, I don't care how much you're glued together out here, you're still gonna butt.
Yes.
You're still gonna lose because they still have control. They have that umbrella. They have that umbrella.
They're steering us in the wrong way or something.
Well, they've got protection. It's an umbrella, wouldn't you say?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe me, they get protected. Believe me,
Yeah.
they really do. They're protected. So it's got to be, how can I say, it's got to be organized and brought forward by someone high enough to actually know what I would call the real deal, so you know how to react or how to not react, get all prepared.
Well, the proper procedures.
Sure, you need all that. If you can get the correct information, it would work.
Okay, so let me
Uh-oh.
I'll go here. Hold on, I'm gonna be this big. We'll close it out up on this though.
Are we done?
Almost. Let me just because you guys are new, and I was gonna read this one earlier, but I thought in my head I'd wait. So I think it's around back. This is an earlier Q. Would have been like his 35th post. Okay, so like this was the 34th. Q Clearance Patriot. That would be us reading it, right? So he put this on November 1st. And this is back November 1st, 2017. Yeah, 2017 at 22:56. So at like 11:56 p.m. 22:56. 10. That's
Whoa,
10.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
10.
You're gonna say,
10:56
wait a
p.m.
minute, You're in the Navy. No
Oof.
matter.
No, I always get
You
that
can't
right.
get that military time down right.
I'm just drunk on Sunday. No, I'm joking. So my fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refugee of shining light. On the POTUS's order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout, which is slated to occur on 11.3. Now, this has all been pushed back accordingly. So this is supposed to start on 11/3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. John Podesta. Now they're thinking these people, they haven't been heard from, that they might already got in custody, and they did it quietly. We don't know. You could look into it, but so actionable on 11/4. Confirmation to the public or what is occurring then will be revealed and will not be openly accepted. All right, because there's a majority of the people kind of liked Hillary because they bought into the fake news that really pushes
the fake news. There you go.
right.
Well, just sheep, So
Well, come on, they're just watching a movie.
we're just sheep.
This is
their
where
life.
it was going to get scary. But public riots are being organized by these same people too, because we've gotten it broke down that all the most of the riots that were happening throughout the Trump's presidency were organized, paid for, and bought by Soros and some of these same people.
Well, sure.
So public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of many, many more senior public officials after Podesta. So on the president's order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned. So we're talking martial law.
Yeah.
And special ops will be carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition, and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country will be exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be as divided as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has been long broadcast. We will be initiating the emergency broadcast EMS system during this time in an effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news to all citizens. So I don't know if this ever happened. Of course, and I mean, it never happened, or if it got pushed forward, or it's not going to happen. They found a way to not have to do it this way. I don't know, because that never did happen.
Yeah, but they found a way to word it to where no matter what happens now, thereafter, they can rely on that as far as their grounds for so said. You know what I mean?
Okay. Certain laws have been.
It's already in the law, right?
Yeah, because he puts here, I guess as a continuance, 35 POTUS will be well insulated, protected on Air Force One, AF-1, and aboard specific locations classified.
So it's already done.
While these operations are conducted,
legally done. Look, they could do. Listen, man, they could.
Let me see this. Wait, operations are conducted.
Anything anybody does whenever they want to go check them out. I don't care if it's a cell phone, if it's a TV, if it's a computer.
It's all being data mined anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They can hold on anybody they want to. Just depends on if they can use the information they get or not. That's the thing.
I haven't heard anything about the prison being shut down, but the prison was a real thing where every company data logged every keystroke.
Oh yeah, that's
well. If you can hack a computer,
that's in here, guys.
You get everything in there you want.
That's what all gets talked about.
You can change things on the computer too. If you're a hacker, you know what I mean, to where it makes it look like things are whatever.
Yeah, but there's still a record of it.
Somehow they can change the computer stuff. Look. Ask our host. You could change that in a computer, correct?
Yes.
You can hide it somewhere.
100% regulated. So right here on like just random March 9th, the seals, there was once darkness and there is now light. Sea to shining sea, Godspeed. You get little drops like that.
Look, the SEALs and the Rangers, all I got to say is, every one of them,
What was that? Five Eyes.
Should be commended, man. You know it.
Oh yes. All the
Come on, man.
Five Eyes is very important. It won't be around much longer. Relevant here, but not the focus. Australia is part of the Five Eyes. That was a group of the 5 countries that basically, okay, so right here, awesome. Five Eyes is basically a group of countries asking each other to spy on one another's citizens so that they can skirt their own privacy laws. So it's if it does go to court, you can be like, well, look,
it wasn't us, it was this country.
It was over there.
Right.
We need to knock them off. You're right, Your Honor. We should cut them off so where they can't do that anymore.
Right.
And then it's like, and then it's just
right.
a plausible deniability. They always seem to have
a way to get there.
Most of these people are lawyers or ex-lawyers, so they know all the laws real well, loopholes and yes.
Exactly. Well, who writes the laws?
Yeah. Sometimes the same
question,
people.
Mr. Host.
Hey, check this one out.
Who writes the laws?
Read that one. Hi, I'm Beverly Eckert. My husband was killed during the 9/11 attacks. I rejected the $1.8 million from the government and filed a lawsuit against them instead. I was a loudmouth and a well-known figure in the 9/11 truth movement. Coincidentally, days after meeting President Obama up here, I died in a plane crash.
Imagine that.
So that's the kind of stuff we get. You can look into that, right?
I didn't even hear anything about
so look,
dying.
So Trump or Q has been putting this to us, guys. He's been putting HRC 21209 Hillary Clinton very bad, very bad. So we're thinking we're going to be getting a video soon that Q keeps telling us he's going to be dropping.
Later.
All right. That he's going to be dropping. Like this guy here on around Easter. How was your Easter, Q? And he put we had a good laugh. That's what he put back. We had a good laugh, and then posted all these photos. And if you look, it was all about Roseanne Barr. she actually retweeted some Q stuff. So a couple months ago, Q said, these boards will get very huge in the next several months within the mainstream media. Get ready for it. Well, it has now started dropping and stuff. Let me see here.
All they're doing is getting a familiar face that people can relate to. You know what I mean? Isn't that what they're trying to achieve? Sound right?
Yeah. I want to show you guys. I guess I'll do that off camera. Let's go ahead and end this episode. We're nearing an hour, so I guess I did an hour, Patriot Hour, which is awesome because that's what I wanted. We're at 50 minutes. Perfect.
Wow, it doesn't even seem like that's. It's been
No,
that
it
long.
always just flies by. It always does that. It's unbelievable.
I don't know, my back's killing me. I know that.
Go
Probably
ahead
seemed
and
like an hour for you.
sign off to them. Tell them, you guys, whatever you want to say. And
Airborne, always airborne, always, all the way.
Airborne all the way. That's WoodMan. Good guy, veteran, brother, father, husband, was, God.
Yeah, my wife passed away almost a month ago.
She was a kind soul, and I remember meeting her several times, and good woman.
Yep.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, well, we will close it out there. These fellas will be back. You guys, please like, subscribe. Let me,
Want to say something? Fuzzy
Stay
Wuzzy?
humble, America. Stay
stay
humble.
humble.
Yeah,
Keep
stay
searching for the truth.
That's
and
right.
pass it along when you find it. It's only as good as giving it to the next guy. Okay, yeah, please like, subscribe, share, comment. Take a look in the description box. There you will find the links to the queue and some other things. So, all right, I'm Mike from the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed, and good evening.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed
Here we
a...
go.
Hey, Froggy.